Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what are you saying, people? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope you're all doing well. Like always, guys, any pairs, any charts you're looking at, feel free to leave it down in the chat. We'll take a look at it for you, give my opinion, all that good stuff. If you're looking to follow my trades, I do have a Telegram channel for that. Take a look at that if you want to, link in the description and in the chat. And also, if you're looking for a broker, I'm currently using IC Markets, and I do have my affiliate link there. If you want to use it, feel free to go do so. But like always, guys, another live stream for you. Like I said, any pairs you're looking at, feel free to let me know. US 30, of course. Take a look at US 30. Didn't actually take a look at US 30 yesterday, so we'll take a look at that one. And any other pairs, feel free to let me know. Okay. Can we sell? Let's find out. So US 30, I'll start on higher time frames. I'll work my way back down. So US 30, I do know that we do have a very, very key area in the market to pay attention to at 34. You can see the bounces from that. Bit of a forced move back down, now climb back above. So yeah, US30 is looking bearish here on the daily time frame. You can see the bearish candlesticks of the market is trending to the downside here. You can see the lower lows and lower highs with the candlesticks, and price is still looking quite bearish there. But do beware of 34, because if this thing is going to go bullish from 34 sort of area, not maybe 34 bang on the dot, but this general area is where price could maybe flip bullish and start to go and attack some highs again. But again, that's a bit more of a swing opportunity. But yeah, we are looking a little bit bearish there. 4H as well, still putting in those lower lows and lower highs. There might be a trend line connecting these highs. Yes, there is. And yeah, price is still looking quite bearish. Bit of a nice level there. That price was consolidating underneath, broke up, consolidating, broke to the downside, slight false break. So maybe if you can hold this coming back into the trend line, that could be a nice place to sell back down. You know, coming into this kind of area of 34,520. So if you can climb back into that, maybe nice lower high in this, maybe spike into the trend line, something like that. So this general area here could be really nice to look into for some sales back down. And again, I would be wary of that 34 area down there. But yeah, US30 is definitely in a bearish market. We had that nice head and shoulder kind of pattern here with the left shoulder being here. Oh, I forgot to draw there. Left shoulder being there, the head, and then the right, and we broke through the neckline. Looks like this kind of spike here above that level came to go and test that neckline again before rolling over, and we didn't quite see some new lows, or did we? It's hard to tell. Pretty much equal lows or slightly higher. So yeah, I think price could be good to pull back into this area, and just generally looking for some shorts and targets. You probably want to be looking at that support here, generally here at kind of 34,200, where we spiked again and again, and then maybe if you're lucky you can push down into that daily level at 34 before maybe a reversal could be on our hands. But yeah, you can sell. I probably wouldn't sell just now. I'll probably wait to see price and go a little bit higher first and give me some bearish momentum coming back into the market, because right now the bulls are still looking strong. You can see the 30-minute wick to the downside and now pushing back up. So that tells me that we could be due for another move higher, which is a good thing, because if price does come here, look for price action, some candlestick patterns, and yeah, it could get a nice sell back down to 34,200 and then maybe 34 as well. But yeah, I hope that helped. US30 is looking still bearish, but we are coming to that higher time frame level where we could reverse. But I think we'll probably do one more push back down anyway. Hey, how are you doing? EuroJPY, of course. We'll take a look at EuroJPY as well. EuroJPY. Oh, where is EuroJPY? I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so EuroJPY, yeah. So basically, yesterday I was saying for the JPY pairs that, you know, I'm still looking for that bigger correction back down, but a lot of them are still giving me bullish price action. So pretty much for all the JPY pairs, yeah, for all the JPY pairs, I'm still, hey, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the family. So yeah, for the JPY pairs, they're all still very, very bullish. And I said yesterday, they're still giving me bullish price action here. So I'm still going to be sitting on my hands with these JPY pairs and not really trying to do anything with them. I said yesterday that the best thing to do is probably just day trade and buy them and just follow that bullish trend, because at this rate, they're still looking bullish and they probably could still see some new highs. So you could really take advantage of that on some lower time frames, hourly, 30-minute, 15-minute, and just be going with that bullish trend. So obviously we've got the highs up there for EuroJPY, and we've seen some correction to the downside. So I said at best yesterday we might see some correction back down into this kind of general area for the retest of it, because it was support here on the left, as you can see, then resistance. Didn't quite come back down, but came pretty close a bit before price did reverse there. So EuroJPY still looking bullish. I'm going to be waiting for the sells, and right now price action is still bullish for me. So the sells are still, you know, a fair bit away. So probably won't be looking to engage in the JPY pairs this week. But from technical standpoint, these are still looking bullish. You can see the market rounded off quite nicely here from those lower lows, now forming some higher lows here. This looks to be another higher low potentially. Obviously it's not confirmed yet because price actually hasn't made a higher high above here, but it looks to be one. And I think if we do see some downsides, likely to be correction for move back to the highs. So I would still be expecting Euro JPY to come back into these highs here at 137.543 unless we break through this. So if you're looking at getting involved in Euro JPY, I would stay bullish with this one as long as we're above this level here, above this resistance support at 135.500. Stay above that. I'm expecting price to come back and revisit these highs, maybe spike through them and see some higher highs before we later come back down again. So yeah, everything is still looking bullish. Dropping to the hourly time frame, you can see very steep reversal back there. So if you can see a bit of a pullback, come back down, maybe a higher low somewhere, this could be an area where that forms maybe. Wait for the candlestick patterns and could be seeing some nice buys back into those highs. Obviously this here would be your first target because obviously price came back down from there. So you do want to probably take some profit or move your stop loss to break even, depending how you want to manage the trade. But yeah, Euro JPY still looking bullish. As long as we stay above this level, I'm expecting to see some new highs, which is why I'm still think the best thing to do with these JPY pairs is still to buy them as they're going higher. Obviously it's not really my cup of tea. I'm not really looking for the day trade out of these guys. I'm looking for the bigger reversal. But I'm looking at these JPY pairs, Euro JPY, Pound JPY, CAD JPY. I'm just not seeing them just yet. Everything is still giving me bullish price action. So yeah, still a little bit higher for these JPY pairs. Like I said, Euro JPY probably still higher as well before maybe we do see that bigger correction. Maybe next week at this rate, because it's already Wednesday. Might see Thursday, Friday continue that bullish momentum. And maybe next week we can see a correction. Who knows? But yeah, I'm still expecting upside for Euro, so I hope that helped. Good morning, Mohammed. Welcome to the stream. Gold and USDZAR, of course. Good morning, Sharif. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is doing well. But yeah, gold and USDZAR. So gold. Okay, so yeah, gold will push into the upside, which is expected. Unfortunately, did not get a trade for this one to take advantage of this one, so a little bit gutted with that one because I was looking forward to trade gold this week because everything was lining up. Higher time frames, weekly, daily, 4H, everything was lining up. So very, very confident that gold was going to push to the upside this week. And I still do have the targets at 2000. So the trade is not completely over just yet. We can still see some correction. Price is moving a little bit choppy, so it tells me that gold might do a bit of a correction first before pushing to the upside, hitting that 2000 target. We do have an area around here which price might see that correction that I'm hoping happens for gold. But like I said from yesterday, I'm still bullish on gold. We're staying above 1945 when we had some news yesterday. But again, as long as we stayed above that, I was very, very bullish with gold. I was looking for the retest at 1945. Price kind of found some higher support just above before ripping to the upside. So unfortunate with that one, but gold is still looking bullish. It's still, giving us what we're expecting gold to do. And now 2000 is its next destination. I'm expecting. So we could obviously do a bit of this because you can see the way gold is moving here. We've got the low, got that high, got that low. Maybe a high could form here. So we could do a bit of this, a bit of a correction before the move to 2000, or gold could just start to fly and hit 2000. Gold can do pretty much whatever it wants. It could just fly like it does sometimes, or it might give us a downside move. And if that does happen, that would be a good opportunity to get back involved. Expecting a higher low to form somewhere, bit of a trend line here, maybe a retest of that if we're lucky. But yeah, for me, so onwards and upwards for gold to 2000. Not really interested in any sales at all. Only way I'd be interested in sells if we break through the trend line and break back below that support. Then I'll entertain some sells, but that's the only way I'm expecting any good sells. That's not to say that we can't move down, of course, but if we do move down, I should be looking to buy it back up really. And yeah, expecting gold to 2,000 now. Same thing with silver, expecting silver to continue its path, looking at silver coming into these highs, which is pretty much out right now, and then maybe resistance here as well. So I'm expecting both of them to continue bullish. USD I'm still bearish on this one. We did have that pullback. I was looking for a deeper pullback for USD. I was looking for price to come back until this area here. We did see price try and break through that resistance. Never came back to you. Well, it did briefly use that as support before it did break quite aggressively underneath. But I was looking for a bit of a bigger pullback back into 14.9, 14.95 before we do see that overall continuation. But it looks like we're just not seeing that strength right now for USD and price is still rolling over. So USD for me, again, it's still a bearish market clearly. I'm still looking at price coming a lot lower. We've got a few areas we need to pay attention to. These areas here could set some really nice targets, but I think price is probably going to come into these lows and maybe see a third push back down to form some new lows, because you can see price made those lows once, pull back, low again, pull back. You might see a third low into that kind of daily area at 14.3 before maybe a continuation. So if you're looking at getting involved with USD, I would be careful with the longs, because yes, price is running out a bit of steam now. It looks like it might get ready to reverse, but the market is still definitely bearish, especially on the higher time frames as well. So we could see price continue back down, form that third lower high before that correction. So it could either do one or two things. It could either just continue back down. That case, you can look for some long to take advantage of that reversal, but again, a little bit of aggressive trade there. Or we might pull back and then drop. So you could be looking for some shorts around this area maybe. There's some nice support here on the left. That price could come back and retest and then roll over back into 14.3, which is that daily low over here, which I think will come in to go and test. But I'm still expecting new lows for USD. I'm expecting this here to be our next lower high, and for price to form that as a lower high, we need to see some new lows. So yeah, that is where I'll be expecting price to come to. So USD expecting new lows past this 14.39995 area, and there's either one or two things. We either just do the move in one go, or we'll pull back and then drop. So if we do see that pullback, looking to sell the market back down essentially. But if we drop, then it's up to you if you want to take that reversal. But yeah, the market is still definitely bearish, and I'm still expecting some new lows to come our way for USD. So I hope that made sense. But yeah, the market is still definitely bearish, and if we break through this level successfully, this is the next area I'm expecting price to go to. But I'm looking at the higher time frames for this one, and everything is still looking very bearish. So the buys are still going to be a little bit difficult to find, and your best bet is always going to be to sell the pair. So expecting new lows, bit of a pullback, and then expecting price to come back down and take out that wick there. But yeah, both USD and gold are currently moving quite well. So yeah, it's just up to them if they pull back. But I'm expecting both of them to continue in their direction they're heading in right now, which is upside for gold and downside for USD. So yeah, I hoped that was useful. But yeah, currently in one position, I'm in USD CHF in a long one for this one, looking for price to come back into these highs all the way up there for USD CHF. So really nice swing trade. Again, if this one does play out, I'm not expecting it to be done in a day. Could be sitting in this one even until next week. So yeah, I've got a trade position, something like that. I did post it on the Telegram as the 4H, but actually it was an hourly trade. So I did take the trade based on this hourly candle here, but because it closed at the same time as a 4H candle as well, so it can pretty much just transfer that quite easily into the 4H time frame. And since it's a longer swing trade, you probably want to be checking the trade every 4 hours anyway, rather than check it every hour, which can be a little bit frustrating, seeing price go up, down, mess around if your entry price. So it's probably better anyway to just to check on the 4H anyway. But I did take it on the hourly candlestick because we didn't really see too much price action from a 4 hour point of view, but hourly was looking good. And the main thing I'm looking at for USDZR, I got USDZR in my brain, USDCHF is for price to hold this level here, because the week before, this was our support for the week. Then we had the manipulation of that, drop back down, big push back up. And you can see it's a fake move, because normally fake moves, if you got a support area like so, fake move is normally a sharp move back down and a sharp move back up. That's the characteristics of a fake move or forced break. And from that, we expect the market to move in the opposite direction, because liquidity has been grabbed, and now we expect the market to break out and move to the opposite side. So we had the support, sharp move back down, then we had a sharp move back down again, consolidation, sharp move back up. So I'm expecting price to had two fake moves at the support. Now we've got the support holding firmly. So now I'm looking for USDZR to move to the upside, and because of what the higher time frames are doing, we are slowly getting this bullish trend forming here. So I know these are very choppy, quite clearly very choppy market, but you can see the higher lows are slowly being printed here. So it's giving us the sign that price is slowly getting ready to move to the upside and probably go and take those highs out. And we also had a really nice test of this trend line here as well last week. So I'm looking at the market continuing to push bullish and see price come back to these highs. The only thing with USDZR is that we do have a fairly big obstacle we need to break through, which is obviously this resistance here on the daily time frame with all those wicks, which will be our first TP area. So if price does get there, I'll be securing profit. I don't know if I'll go stop loss to break even, just because it's a bit too tight. We might see something like this happen, come back down, and then break. So I want to give the trade the best chance to actually work, rather than just getting stopped out for a minor pullback for the bigger move. So we'll be securing profit around this region here. You can see all those rejections. Price could definitely come into this area and maybe go and fail. So I do want to secure some profit at this region, but the real target is back to these highs here for USDZR, and also decent risk to reward. So we'll see how this one plays out. Again, it's more on the 4H this time, so it's not a quick day trade or anything. It's going to take its time to play out. But yeah, currently in USDZR, and we also got a bit of a trend line rejection here as well, just adding some extra confluence, but in the grand scheme of things, not too much there. So yeah, in USDZR now, again, I haven't seen too much enter the E yesterday. Price is moving sideways. Still expecting some dollar strength. There's a few other pairs I'm still looking at for USD, USD, yeah. There's still a few other pairs I'm looking at. I'm still got my eyes on AUD/USD. We did see a lot of movement for NZD last night because of some interest rates that came out, and it kind of messed me up a little bit, because a lot of those NZD pairs that did see a big wick to the upside and they came back down. I did have my eyes on two NZD pairs coming into the week. If you haven't seen the post on my Telegram, NZD/USD and NZD CAD, but two of the main pairs I was focusing on this week, and they both did exactly what I'm expecting them to do, but they kind of just did it without me, being prepared to actually get a trade onto these pairs. So yeah, for NZD/USD, I was looking for price to come back into these lows this week, and NZD CAD, I'm looking for price to come back into two areas. This being the first one, and this being the second one. So the trade's not necessarily over yet. If there's a pullback, I'll still look to get involved. But yeah, NZD CAD, I said at the start of the week, I'm looking for a pullback into this area, which price kind of manipulated and came straight back down. You can see the news here. Big spike to the upside, grabbing a lot of liquidity above that highs and then dumping, and that happened at around 3, 4, 5 a.m. maybe with the interest rate. So I'm obviously fast asleep at that time, so I'm not really looking to trade it. Even if I was awake, I probably wouldn't have traded it either. So yeah, NZD CAD, I was looking for price to come into these levels. It looks like it's on its way there. And then the USD, I was looking at price coming to there, and it looks like it's on its way there as well after successfully rejecting that area. So a little bit annoying with those two trades there, because obviously I'd like to be involved with them. After you do analysis and then you miss the trade setup, it's a bit annoying. But obviously that's all part of trading, and this happened in the middle of the night, so what can I expect? But yeah, those two setups I was quite focused on this week, not playing out. Well, they are playing out, but didn't get involved. Same thing with gold as well. That one's playing out as well as expected, but didn't get involved. Only one that I was focusing on that I have got involved so far is USDCHF, so we'll see if that can make up for the other ones, but who knows. Still a few other pairs I've still got my eyes on, so it's not the end of the world. I still am looking at AUD/USD to do the exact same thing as NZD/USD, which is plummet back down. I'm expecting AUD to come back into 0.73. So I got targets for AUD/USD all the way back down here. It looks like price is successfully rejecting this area here. So now I'm expecting a push back down to 0.73. And again, nice price action coming into the end of the day there. Again, don't really look to place my trades at that time. And then nice spike to the upside with a bit of news, and then prices come back down. So I'm looking at AUD/USD coming back down to 0.73. So still quite a bit of way to go. Still about 120 pips, so that is obviously good news. So I'm just going to be looking for a lower high. Price can pull back, form a lower high somewhere. I'm going to look to get involved. Would it be nice to get involved here? Break and retest of this low would it be nice to get involved in as well. But yeah, 0.73 is my target for the AUD/USD. Sorry, do have kind of like a minor target here at 0.737. But I'm still expecting these lows here at 0.73. So I'm just going to be looking for any chance I can get to short AUD/USD. I'm still expecting dollar strength. So yeah, I'm still expecting AUD/USD to come that down. Just a shame couldn't have gone into any of these positions here. Would have been nice, but yeah, if I can get a pullback, maybe might roll over today, get a pullback tomorrow, and then continue Friday. So hopefully you can get an entry maybe either late today or tomorrow. But I'm looking at AUD/USD coming back down. Euro/USD, of course, we'll take a look at Euro. So yeah, Euro is still bearish in Euro. Again, another pair I was looking at this week, but just hasn't pulled back enough for me. Price is still very, very corrective in this kind of neat channel here. And I'm still expecting Euro to go and take out these lows here on the left. So for me, Euro/USD is still bearish. I'm still expecting these lows to get taken out. I was looking for the pullback back into this area this week, but it just hasn't happened. Saw a bit of a pullback at the start of the week, but it was just very, very minuscule into that area before prices rolling over. So yeah, we haven't taken out those lows yet, but I believe probably today, if we can see that momentum continue, I do think we'll go and take out the lows. Actually, let me go check quickly the news for the week. I haven't actually, for the day, I haven't actually checked the news. So we had the pound news at 7. Okay, we do have some CAD. Oh, we've got some CAD interest rates. Oh, did not see that. Okay, so we've got some CAD interest rate decisions coming out at 3. So in about 4 hours and 19 minutes. Okay, so you got some CAD, but nothing for Euro, or actually no, we got some dollar, but it says medium impact. Okay, so yeah, Euro, I'm still expecting these lows to get taken out. So if you're looking to trade this one, it's going to be a little bit tricky, but all in all, you're basically looking for rejection here and prices to reject resistance. We had a nice support formed here. You can see price rejected it once, bit of a false break there, rejected it again, broke through. So if you can come back up, maybe retest this area, that would be a nice place to get involved. and sell it back down, maybe for a little day trade there. Probably want to drop to 30 or the 15 minute. This is the hourly time frame. Keep forgetting to put the watermark on, my apologies. But yeah, Euro USD, I'm expecting price to go and take out those lows. I'm still bearish on this one, and we still haven't taken out those lows yet, so they're just getting ready to be taken out. If it doesn't do today, probably will do tomorrow. And yeah, just expecting the price to move lower. So a pullback into this area could be nice, 1.08496 into that area. Even better, we have pushed back into the trend line there, and then another push back down. But we will see, because there is obviously that chance that we could just drop from where we are right now. We are consolidating a little bit here. We might just break to the downside. But yeah, a good trade opportunity, a pullback into one of these areas here would be nice. But we'll have to see if we can get that. But in terms of direction and what I expect Euro to be doing is be taking out these lows, which are obviously not too far away right now. So you probably want to be dropping to the 15 or 30 minute to maximize risk to reward a little bit. But still expecting bearish for Euro USD. I've been doing a lot of long-term analysis, looking at the bigger picture for a lot of the major pairs, and I'm still expecting more downside for Euro. I'm expecting these lows here on the left to be taken out. This is the monthly time frame, by the way. Price has had this exceptional decline, back in 2014, and I'm just expecting price to be putting these lower highs in. So all in all, I'm actually expecting these lows to be taken out. Again, that is very, very long term. This is the monthly time frame. That could be not for another year or two. You could do something like this and then take them out. So that's definitely something to have way back of the head. But in terms of direction, from a technical standpoint, not really looking to fundamentals, but from a technical standpoint, I'm expecting all of these lows to be taken out. So Euro USD, I'm still looking at a lot more downside to take this low out here, this wick. And again, this is the monthly time frame. We could definitely pull back for 2 or 3 months before we actually go and take them out. So that's definitely something to have in the back of the head as well, and not take it to heart too much, because we could do something like this before we go and take them out, and we still want to be taking advantage of those buys as well, and then take advantage of the sell, but that's just the long term. So yeah, Euro USD expecting those lows to be taken out, probably today or tomorrow. But bearish on Euro. Same thing for pound, except pound actually has taken out the lows. You can see pound there, the low there on the left, 1.3 has taken them out. Took them out actually last week, and now it's just kind of just moving sideways really on it. So yeah, pound's been a little bit choppy as well. Haven't looked at too much at pound this week. I was looking a little bit at pound on Monday, because I was looking for the break and retest of this, which did happen, but at the time price was just so messy, and I kind of want price to break out of this area before I do engage with pound. So I just didn't really look too much into it. It has rejected and it has rolled back over, but it's not really a trade that I'm looking to get involved in really. Let me just make that watermark a little bit darker. It's not really a trade that I'm looking to get involved in really. So pound for me, just consolidating. It needs to break through either the resistance up here or the support down here to start to flow again. Again, like I said, I still do have targets at 1.29 for pound USD, so I'm still bearish on the pair. If it does end up breaking this resistance to the upside, I'll be looking for that next lower high for that drop, and if it does break through that 1.3 barrier of support, we'll be looking for that retest for the continuation back down. Kind of like a trend line forming here, with this being a bit of a false break. So you got the trend line rejecting, false break of that, retesting, holding. So yeah, as long as we stay below that trend line, probably will break through that 1.3 support, come back, retest, drop to 1.29. If for some reason we do rally, then I'll be looking for that next lower high for the drop back to 1.29. No problem, happy to help. If you are finding the analysis and the streams useful, please be sure to leave a like on the video. It does really help the channel out. But yeah, I'm grateful for all of that and all you guys turning up to the stream. If you haven't already, subscribe, join the family. All of that is appreciated, and everyone is of course welcome here. But yeah, if there's any pairs you guys are focusing on, let me know. We'll take a look at it together. And also, I do tend to look at the higher time frames quite a lot. But if you're focused more on the lower time frames, let me know, and I'll take a look at the lower time frames as well. It's pretty much just the same thing. Just lower time frames are a lot more quicker. That's why I prefer the higher. But if you're looking at, I don't know, use the CAD in the 15-minute, let me know and I'll take a look for you and just share my opinion. But yeah, currently only in USDC Chef. So going to see how this guy gets going. Got the targets up there, 0.94. I'm actually expecting price to go probably higher than this. But again, I'm not trying to be greedy with my trade and just take my profit when it's there. But this wick here on the left here, which is just higher than this wick here, I'm actually expecting that wick to be taken out as well. As you can see, this is the weekly time frame. You can see the consecutive higher lows that price is still putting in. Price still higher lows. So this is telling me that price is probably going to rip to the upside and blow through this resistance here. Yes, we could reverse and come back down later because the market is still definitely bearish with the higher time frames. But it's telling me that we probably will blow to the upside first and then drop back down. So I'm looking to take advantage of that push up. And again, it's a bit tricky because the market is consolidating. So with the trade that I've got on right now, looking for a move back into those highs, it could be a situation where price does consolidate for like 3 or 4 more weeks before we actually do get that push higher. So it could be the case where my trade just gets really choppy and price just keeps moving sideways. If that's the case, I may look to exit if it starts to consolidate for that long, and then just look to see if I can get back in with a better entry. But all in all, I'm still expecting price to push higher. It's just a matter of time really for USDC HF. It could be this week, could be next, could even be the week after. But the plan is for a move back to highs. And obviously, my analysis could be completely wrong as well. Got to take that into account. Gold, yeah, sure thing. We'll take a look at gold. So yeah, gold's still pushing up. Yeah, still looking at 2,000 for gold. So actually, looking at this high here, we had a break and retest. I did not notice that. My bad. I would have mentioned that before, but yeah, we've actually had a break and retest of this high here, which happened during the Asian session. So it's not like I would actually be in a wait to get involved anyway. But during the Asian session, what was that? 3 a.m. Price has had a successful retest of this area and is now rallying to the upside. So I'm still bullish on gold, looking for price to come to 2,000. But if we could come back, maybe during New York session, come back and retest this and then rally again, you could probably find some nice trades as long as we can hold above this, of course. Nice trades and a rally to 2,000, something like that. But in terms of direction and just general bias for gold, I'm still looking at 2,000 all the way up here. So still expecting price to rally. It would be nice to get a pullback, unless you're not already in the trade, of course, then you probably want price just to fly. But yeah, I'm expecting 2,000. I'm actually expecting price to come back to these highs all the way up here at 2070, but I think 2,000, because it's such a strong psychological level, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, very strong psychological levels that a lot of orders and profit taking could be happening at. I do think we might see a bigger retracement from 2,000, and you can see the level of bearish momentum that came from it. Big seller from 2,000, pushed into 2,000, big drop. So we might react with 2,000 and pull back a little bit, which will give us a chance to get into some buys and could aim back at 2070 there. So I think gold is just slowly turning bullish. You can see we've gone from this bearish structure. Now I think we're going to go bullish, something like that. Maybe not such a deep retracement, but something like that maybe. To 2070. So yeah, gold's still bullish on. Yeah, best opportunity you're probably looking at is if price comes back down to retest that high, turn support. But other than that, price could just rally to 2,000. And I remember yesterday someone was talking about the news and expecting to see dollar strength from the CPI yesterday, which should mean that gold and silver and commodities do come back down, because obviously if they're against the dollar, strength in the dollar, we should see gold weakness, negatively correlated, which is true. But I was saying yesterday that the correlation between gold and the dollar has been very, very dodgy of late. So I'm not really looking too much into the correlation anymore between gold and dollar. I'm kind of just focusing on the price action alone for gold, then focusing on the price action alone for the DXY, and just treating it separate really. Even though there is, yes, a correlation, but it hasn't been very, very strong lately. We've seen gold rally, we've seen dollar rally, and it's supposed to be going the other way. Gold's supposed to be falling if dollar's rising, but we haven't really seen that happen yet. So although we're seeing dollar strength and gold is still rallying, that's why I said yesterday that as long as price stays above this level of support, I'm still bullish, even though dollar's bullish as well, which is why price action structure is king. The news is just acting as kind of like the gas for the market really. If you do get your technicals to a good level, you can actually predict what's going to happen from the news outcome really. Like NZD, USD, NZD CAD, all those pairs, I'm expecting them to come down at the start of the week. So when we had the interest rate coming out for NZD, I was expecting all these pairs to go down, even though if the increased interest rate, you should expect strength, which we did see, but the true direction is still south, and that's because technicals are still pointing down. So yeah, once you get technicals to a good level, you can actually predict what's going to happen. Not all the time, of course. Nothing's right all the time, of course, but you can actually predict what's going to happen a good amount of time from news. But obviously, you want to give yourself room for stop losses and all of that. But yeah, still currently in USD CHF, and the main pairs I'm focusing on now will be AUD/USD shorts back down to 0.73. Just waiting for a bit of a pullback for this one, and then the drop or a break and retest of that low. Either which way, I'm expecting AUD/USD back down to 0.73. AUD/CHF, I'm expecting this one to come back down as well. I'm looking at price coming back down into this area here, and potentially this area here as well. Well, obviously that area first, and this area here as well. Looking for that lower high, and then for price to roll over. So yeah, I'm looking at that happening for AUD/CHF. AUD CAD, still looking at this one coming back down a lot deeper as well. Long-term targets back down here, but obviously there's a lot of areas we can work with, that support, that resistance there. So there's a lot of areas you can aim for. You don't have to aim for the bigger target, but obviously as a swing trader, that's where my targets will be. Doesn't mean I'll hold onto the trade for that long. I could exit early, but that's where my overall targets will be for these pairs. I'm expecting them to swing back down now. This here could actually be a lower high. If that's the case, I'm expecting price to remain below that and probably drop lower, something like that as well. So yeah, I'm expecting AUD CAD, AUD CHF, AUD USD all to come back down. So I'll be keeping my eyes fully focused on those pairs, because as you can see for the NZD pairs, they're already gone, they're already falling out the sky, and yeah, I'm not going to get a trade on those pairs unless they pull back for some reason. But the AUD pairs are still kind of just forming, they haven't really dropped yet, so we'll have my eyes on those pairs for the drop. Euro pound, I'm focusing on this one a lot. Again, very, very choppy, but I'm still fairly confident that I expect to see a move back down to these lows at 0.82. Again, the price action has just been awful, so I'm not really trying to look to get involved in this kind of area here. And on the daily time frame, price is still above this very, very strong critical area of support. So I'm waiting for either price to have one more pullback to the upside, and then drop, and then I'll get into a pullback, or the break and retest of the daily low, and then I'm looking for a push all the way back down into that area. So Euro pound still bearish on this one. Very, very choppy pair, always has been really. and not one of my favorite pairs to trade, but a large part of my trading is obviously forming that bias, and I try to keep my bias, as good as possible. And if I'm a bit unsure, I just tend just to drop the pair. I want to always be 100% confident with my bias. Not necessarily that will be right, of course, all the time, but I want to make sure that I'm very, very confident with my bias before I form that. And if there's a pair that I'm like, maybe, then I just forget about it, because obviously I trade quite a wide range of pairs, so I don't have to focus on one pair too much anyway. But yeah, Euro Pound, I'm seeing price come back down here, but obviously we've got that key level that price does need to break first. So I'll be waiting for that to happen, and then looking at shorts, but probably won't get trading on this pair till tomorrow, maybe Friday. I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. But I'm looking at shorts for Euro Pound. 80 pairs, like I explained there. Pound USD, I'm waiting for the break or a bigger pullback to happen before I do get involved. UCHF, of course, I'm already in that one. Of course, the JPY pairs, I'm still going to be waiting for those pairs to set themselves for that bigger rollover, which is due for a lot of them. But yeah, still too bullish for me to get involved. In fact, USD JPY, I actually expected that one to keep going up this week. If you watch my weekly analysis, I said for USD JPY that I'm expecting price to go and take up those monthly highs. And we've actually just seen USD JPY go and do that today, I believe, or was it yesterday? But we've seen price just take up those monthly highs. So I'm going to monthly draw that wick across. So I said I'm expecting price to go and take out these highs here. So I wasn't looking to sell USD JPY this week, but obviously it's been exceptionally bullish, crazy upside movement. So we're bound to see something happen. But I said I'm expecting price to take out this wick first before the drop. Reason being is because looking at a higher time frame point of view, I mean, to analyze a pair like USD JPY right now for directional purposes, you definitely want to be zooming out to the higher time frames. But you can see that looking at this one, we've had a crazy move up. Prices respected the higher low here, came up, respected, came back down again, respected another higher low, and ripped to the upside. So if the market is consecutively forming higher lows, so let's say it's had a big move, now it's consecutively forming higher lows, the odds are that price is likely to come back to these highs and either form equal highs or higher highs if the trend wants to continue, of course. And with that momentum, I was expecting higher highs to come, every day of the week. So with this one, I actually said I'll be looking for some buys for USD JPY. Sadly, didn't get into any of them because price gapped up coming into the week and kind of just shot to the upside. I was looking for a bit of a pullback into this area because we didn't come back to the retest. We broke, consolidated, and then pushed. I was looking for the retest of this area and then the move up high, but we kind of just rallied anyway and taken up those monthly. So now that we've done that for USD JPY, now I do think price may continue a little bit higher, maybe to 127, which is up here, and then we might see that deeper correction come back down for the pair. So now I'm going to be looking for shorts for USD JPY, but obviously in this market, in this condition, these market conditions, there's obviously no point looking for sells whatsoever because everything is still extremely bullish. And if you're looking for sells, you're probably going to be giving money back to the market unless you're lucky and you catch it on a dime, then fair enough. But chances of that not very high, and I'm just looking for high probable opportunities, and I'm not seeing one right now for USD JPY. So I'll be waiting for this one to give me the reversal sign, and I'll be waiting for some lower lows and some lower highs to be placed, and then only when I do see that is when I'll look to get involved and short it, but only when I do see something like that, because otherwise price can go as high as it likes. Like I said, 127, 128, 129, not much stopping it really. It's broken through the resistance, it can use it as support to spring itself further. But yeah, now we're taking up the highs, we'll be looking for the lower highs to develop for this one, but still got to be a little bit patient. Pound NZD did see a nice push for this one. Again, another pair that I was analysing on my weekly analysis. If you haven't checked that out, feel free to go do so. It's on my channel now. But Pound NZD is one of the pairs that I analyse on that one. And for this one, I was looking for the reversal back up again. Again, difficult to get any entries on these NZD pairs unless you're trading the Asian session and unless you've got a massive stop loss or anything like that. You know, prices spiked into the area which I said would be nice for some buys, which is this area here. I said if you can hold this region here, will be nice for some buys. We spiked into that very, very quickly and then pulled back up. So again, that could have been a nice trade that at what, 4 a.m. With a stop loss below that and a really, really nice rally there. Obviously, risk would be a little bit skewed, but I'm expecting this to go a lot higher into this resistance here. Still probably not the best risk reward though, but a profit is profit at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm expecting GPNZD to move into this area. 1.93 is the target for the week for GPNZD after seeing what price did last week on the weekly time frame. You can see if I go on the weekly quickly. Price gave us this support here, big rally to the upside, back down, and you can see this weekly candle here, really nice hammer candlestick pattern. Can speak for a second. Nice hammer candlestick pattern there. And again, when I do look at the weekly time frame, because I'm not really taking into account too much of the trend of the weekly time frame, because again, it's a weekly time frame. Each candle represents a week. Looking at the trend in the weekly time frame could go on for 20 weeks, so it's not really the time scale I'm looking to trade. But from a weekly point of view, the candlesticks are very, very important, because seeing what happened over the course of last week can give you a good amount of information on what will happen next week. Seeing a hammer candlestick pattern like this at a level at support, really strong wicks, gave me a clear understanding that next week we probably will see bullish continuation to the upside. So even from just a bias standpoint, understanding that weekly candle here means that next week we probably will see some upside. So taking that information onto the lower time frames, to whatever time frame you're trading, you can just be looking for buys now. Obviously that would have been a nice buy there, but unfortunately I'm not awake at those times anyway. But yeah, we're doing exactly what we expected from a weekly point of view, and now we're moving into 1.93 now. That resistance there, so that's what I'm looking for. Pound NZD, we could break through, but you can see that the gap. Hey, good morning Jay, welcome to the stream, hope you are doing well. Just saw you at the corner of my eye. We do have a quite big gap here, so you can see price gave us that bullish candle there on the daily and then dropped, formed some resistance and then dropped again. So if price does take out 1.93, you expect price to come back into 1.96 into this area here. If it fails to take out 1.93, we'll come in straight back down to lows, I would expect. So yeah, very, very important region to look at what price does here at 1.93, but that's what I'm expecting price to go to, and that trade is well underway. And then pound AUD, I'm expecting to slowly catch up with pound NZD. You can see nowhere near the same amount of momentum that I was seeing for NZD, but I'll be expecting it to continue. Pound AUD's got a very important level, it needs to break through at 1.756. Once it breaks through that, we can see a lot more bullish momentum. And again, naturally, that will be the target I'm expecting price to head to, 1.775. But it does look like price giving us a nice head and shoulder. To the left, head, right, inverse head and shoulder, I should say, actually. But yeah, pound AD looking like that's pushing up as well. So would you wait for pound NZD? Yeah, I think now for pound NZD, because obviously that trading setup has been gone right now, I would wait to see what pound NZD does at 1.93. That would be my next area of interest, and then I'll see what happens here. And then if it breaks through, I'm looking at 1.96, holds, I'm looking at price coming back down, but I'm not looking to do anything until it gets there. Oh, pound AUD. So yeah, pound AUD. I'll wait for price to break through that resistance there, because obviously this is where I would have originally looked to get involved, but again, this happened during the night for me, so I'm not trading at this time. Nice signal here, really nice push back down, respect to the low, nice bullish engulfing at 5 a.m. So that would have been a nice entry there. But yeah, I'm fast asleep at that time, so I wouldn't be involved in that trade. So yeah, if pound AUD can either come back to respect this, form a higher low somewhere maybe, then I'll look for entries there. But most importantly, the break of the neckline would be very, very nice, and a push into 1.775. I'm still expecting a lot more AUD weakness, so I'm expecting AUD to catch up with NZD now after that kind of outburst it had last night. So yeah, pound AUD, I expect to do the exact same thing as pound NZD and start to rally now. So yeah, either a pullback into an area here in a higher low formation somewhere, or the break of the neckline and then 1.775. But yeah, I'm waiting for pound AUD to do the exact same thing. There's no real anything for me to do in this area. In here, it's just a lot messy, so I'll wait for price to get to the lows of the area to get involved, or actually break out the area to get involved. But in here, there's not much for me to do. But yeah, I'm expecting it to do the exact same thing really. But to be honest, that the AUD pairs I'm mainly focused on are AUD USD for some sales back down to 0.73, AUD CHF for some sales back down into 0.684, 0.6674, and AUD CAD sales back down into 0.918. So all of these AUD pairs, that's what I'm expecting to happen for them. So obviously pound AUD I expect it to go in the opposite direction up. But yeah, I don't need to trade all of these AUD pairs to take advantage of AUD weakness. So I don't need to get involved in pound AUD, AUD CAD, AUD CHF, AUD USD. I'll just look for the best one and then take that one. But I do think they're all getting ready to roll over. So I'm going to be waiting for some signals for these guys to get involved. And I do have some pretty good targets for them. So risk reward should be looking pretty healthy. So again, don't need to enter right at the top, but we'll be waiting for some signals for these guys here to short them. AUD USD looks really good. Pound AUD does look good, but I think the risk to reward is better on the other pairs. But obviously we'll have to see what type of setup I can get. But yeah, I'm still expecting weakness for AUD and NZD, which has kind of already happened. But yeah, that's what I'm expecting for AUD. Pound CAD, sure thing. We'll take a look at pound CAD. Yeah, pound CAD, interesting stuff in this guy, because it's still pretty bearish on the higher time frames, and I'm still expecting price to go a lot lower in the next few weeks / months. Expecting price to be trading at these areas 1.6, 1.59, but obviously we could see some retracement first before those targets get reached. So yeah, we're trading at a very important region. You can see on the weekly time frame here, this area here is the prior weekly resistance for the past 2 weeks. So you got the wick here on that candle there, failed to break through this area. Last week, failed to break through that area. And this week we're trading at that area. So it's a very important resistance, which if we hold, we can roll over. If not, we'll probably come back and test some of these areas up there. So going to the 4H time frame, if we do break through, and I'm looking at price coming into this area here, probably clean up a draw on the daily actually, which is this support here. 4H is a little bit messy, so I'm going to draw it on the daily, but coming back into that area up there. So yeah, AUD CAD is putting some higher lows in respect to this low here. So it depends what AUD CAD does at this region, because as long as price rejects this, I do think AUD CAD could still go bearish. Breakthrough, I think we have a deeper retracement into that daily region and then probably go bearish. So all in all, I'm still bearish on pound CAD. I'm still looking at price coming a lot lower, but we may pull back a little bit deeper first, because we have been very bearish, so we do need to see some type of relief. We could even pull back to some of these areas before we do see that continuation. But if you're looking at trading pound CAD, I would have my eyes, set on two areas really for some sells. If you're looking at buys for pound CAD and you want to take the reversal, then a break and retest of this area would be your best bet. 1.646, so break and retest would be your best bet, and then buys into 1.656, which is that daily region, something like that. But like I said, I'm a bear in this market, so if the market holds, I do think we'll roll over despite these high lows. If not, and we break through, then the next sell area will be 1.656, where I think we can roll over from. So hope that made sense. I'm bearish on pound CAD. If you're looking at buys, a break and retest of that level would probably be your best bet, because we are starting to form a bit of a trend line now. So break and retest, hold the trend line and the support level could be a nice buy into that level. But if we don't break through, I'm expecting price to drop. So we'll see what we can get. Again, looking pretty bullish with this move there. So yeah, if we do just rally through, retest 1.656, but we do need to rally through first. So yeah, I hope that analysis made sense. I mean, what's your bias? A pound CAD looking for buys, sells? Let me know. But you can see we are already struggling to break through that area. So if we do, could be a nice little break and retest situation. But as of yet, still haven't broken through. So still bearish as long as we stay underneath. But CAD's an interesting one because I'm expecting CAD strength. I'm expecting CAD strength from a technical and standpoint alone. So not really looking at fundamentals. We do have CAD interest rate decision coming out later today at 3, which is in about 4 hours, or a bit less than that, 3 hours 45 minutes maybe. 3 hours 45 minutes. So CAD is likely to experience some type of movement up or down. I have no idea. Could do what happened yesterday with NZD. NZD whipped up and then came straight back down. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm expecting CAD strength from a technical standpoint. And like I said earlier, most of the time when I expect to see a particular strength or weakness from a technical standpoint, it does end up happening from a fundamental standpoint as well. So obviously we'll see what happens. It's normally right all the time, but if CAD does see some strength, then I told you so. I'm joking. I mean, I have no idea what it could be, and I'm not even trading CAD pair either. I'm an USDC chef, so it's not like I'm going to try and get involved. But that's just my opinion. Hey, morning, Sonny. How are you doing? Yeah, cheers, Jay. Much appreciated. I keep forgetting to say that. But yeah, if you are enjoying the stream, finding it useful, finding it valuable, all of that good stuff, please do leave a like on the video. It does really help the channel out. Really do appreciate all of that stuff. If you guys do that. But hey, so far, how are you doing? Pound CAD short-term buys and long-term sells, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, it depends if we see that bigger retracement, because this level here, 1.64600, is what's keeping the market bearish. In a bearish market, resistance holds. In the bullish market, support holds. And right now, this level is still holding, and it could give us another move to the downside. So yes, it could be short-term bullish because it does need to have that relief. Similar to what's going on with the JPY pairs. I'm expecting that relief and that correction coming back down, but long term the JPY pairs are probably still bullish. Same with pound CAD. So yeah, we could see that bullish move, and like I said, a break above that resistance will confirm that. Wait for the retest, and then you can take advantage of those buys. Probably drop to the lower time frames and really take advantage of that risk to reward. But if we don't break through this, then we probably will roll back over and see another bearish leg to the downside. Because if you look at this situation, for example, here, really strong resistance, probably expecting pound CAD to rally to see some upside. Holds resistance, comes straight back down. The trend does find a funny way of just keep going. Definitely learned that lesson the hard way. Just basically trust the trend until it changes, really. And if it breaks through that resistance there, then yeah, it would have not changed ultimately the larger trend, of course, but in terms of momentum from an intraday perspective, intra-week perspective, we could see some upside there. And then the break and retest alongside with the trend line could be a nice little buy there, and then maybe some sells back down. But yeah, I do see what you mean there so far. If we do get above, could see that strength come back in. But yeah, I'm mainly focused on the AUD pairs, and I just need to see some pullback for these guys because I'm still expecting a lot more downside. But yeah, I haven't got an entry for these guys, so hopefully we can see a bit of a pullback, maybe if I'm lucky, or we just drop and then break. Either which way, I'm just looking for an entry. AUD ripping to the upside again. I was looking for AUD to continue here this week. So obviously AU is going to be stronger than NZD, so it's going to take a little bit longer for AUD to see that downside move compared to NZD. But I'm expecting AUD to actually head back to these highs, which is actually taken out, and then potentially these highs as well. Because if you see on the weekly time frame here, we have a key level of resistance that price has broken through now. So you can see here really strong resistance. By the way, the higher time frames are very, very underrated, because a lot of these big moves that you see in the market that are just like moving the market 50, 100, 150, 200, 250 pips, and you have like no idea what's happening. Just zoom out to the higher time frames, and a lot of the time it's just simply just continuing a trend or rejection a higher time frame level, which if you did look at the higher time frames previously, probably even take advantage of that move. So yeah, we've had this really strong level that price is holding. Broke through here, a bit of a false break again here, false break as well, but now it's broke above it last week, and this week it's whipped back down to retest it, and now it's seen some bullish momentum. I know that candle still's got two days and 11 hours left, so it could still pull back. But if this is the actual breakout of the level, then we should see price come back to these highs here at 1.104. So that tells me that AUD NZD, we could see a lot more strength in AU than NZD. So all these AUD pairs, which I'm expecting to fall, will probably take a lot longer than the NZD pairs. Of course, NZD pairs are still kind of dropping heavily right now, which is quite quite annoying. But AU is probably going to take its time a little bit, which is nothing wrong with that. A trade's still a trade. If it takes 1 day or 5 days, if you still make the same profit, it doesn't really matter really. But yeah, I'm looking for these pairs to see some downside. AUD CAD looks really, really good if that can get going. This looks to be the first lower high. Potentially, obviously it's not confirmed yet, but I'm looking at that being the first lower high, and then possibly some new lower highs can be forming. Get involved for some nice sells back down again. And yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Really nice level here on the left that price is holding. So yeah, looking at AUD CAD dropping. But yeah, we'll see, because nothing right now. Just a shame that the pairs that I was focusing on this week are most of them, CAD CHF is not quite playing out, but all of them, and apart from USD CHF, because I'm actually still in that one, all of them seem to be playing out quite well, but I haven't found entries for them, which is a shame. NZUSD, NZD CAD, USD CHF, which I'm currently in, which we'll yet to see if that plays out or not. Could obviously still fail, could work, we'll have to see. Gold, didn't get that break and retest, unfortunately. And CAD CHF, I was looking for longs for CAD CHF for this guy, back to highs, but he decided to switch up on me a little bit, and he took a dive to the downside. So I'm thinking, I still do have bias at these highs here, but I'm thinking we might do a little bit of a deeper pullback before we do see that move, which is cool, because if that happens, the risk reward will probably be better anyway. So if you can roll over a little bit, push up, give me a high low, I'll look to get back involved and target at those highs. But I was looking to see if we can get a break of this resistance this week, get above that, retest, and then push, but we just respected that and dropped. So unfortunately didn't really get that opportunity. So still do have that long bias for CAD-CHF back of those highs, but it's not quite moving the way I wanted to. Everything else that I was looking at, it is looking so far quite good. And Euro Pound, still looking at shorts for this guy if we can break through that support there. I was debating actually entering up here on Monday. The price action wasn't very clean, but because it was in a very good area where you can see price was putting a lot of wicks into previously, had a really nice test there before it broke, and now it's coming back into that same area again. So I was debating getting involved, but I didn't really have my entry criteria met, so I didn't get involved, which looking back is the correct thing to do. Just seeing a trade play out that you were like, should I enter, should I not enter, then it does work. It's not really a situation you want to be in, because next time, knowing that, okay, it does work, but I didn't get my entry criteria, next time I'll not get my entry criteria again, enter the trade, and then it fails, and then I'll be angry that I entered the trade that I shouldn't have entered. So, following the plan is the only thing you really got in the markets, and if the plan isn't there, then no trade. Your plan's not there to make sure you take advantage of every trade and win every trade and take advantage of every move. Your plan is there so you can stay afloat in the markets for a long period of time. That's the purpose of the plan. And unfortunately, wouldn't have got into the trade, but would have been nice. But it doesn't really matter because my target is all the way down here, and I'm still looking for the break and retest of this. It just means if I got in there, I could maximize my risk reward a little bit, and maybe have 2 entries, so I can really maximize the trade. But it's still good. Still got a lot of the moves left to do. USDC Chef, of course. I'm actually currently trading that pair right now. So yeah, I'm bullish on USDC Chef, looking at price moving back to highs at 0.94606. We've had some really nice bearish structure here. Had that high, the low, pullback, low, pullback, low, pullback, low, and then we had this another pullback. But I'm anticipating price giving us a higher low, so I'm looking at the reversal here. A little bit of a head and shoulder vibe here. The left shoulder, head, neckline, right shoulder potentially. I'm looking at price reversing to the upside, so a little bit aggressive, taking advantage of the first higher low without the trend really confirming it's changing. But I've analysed the higher time frames and things are still looking bullish, so I can afford to get in here and take a slightly riskier entry. But USDC GF, I'm expecting price to come back to those highs. Do you have the first target here at 0.93692? Probably a bit more this kind of January here, because obviously rejection, definitely an area I want to be securing profit at, just in case price comes back down against me, of course. But USDC HF for me, I'm looking at the higher time frames here. Price is giving me that kind of bowl shape here, slowly reversing, and I'm expecting it to push to the upside quite aggressively. If not this week, probably next week. Really nice trend line here on the daily, which price rejected last week, and now I'm anticipating that first higher low for some continuation higher. So yeah, I'm expecting price to reach these highs here, and we'll see how it goes. I've also got a target 0.94 into this kind of supply area there where we consolidated and dropped. But yeah, I'm expecting price to head high. If you're looking at getting involved with USDC HF, I'll wait to see if we can get a pullback back into this area and then push higher, because you can see you've got a trend line forming here. 1, 2, 3. We might get a fourth test, including with that support, so that could be a nice entry there. Or wait for a break and retest of this level here and then get involved for some buys to the upside. But in terms of target buys, I'm expecting price to head back to highs here. So as long as we don't break through the trend line and don't break through that support, I'm bullish. Break through this area, we might head a little bit lower. I'll probably reanalyze the pair. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll look for shorts because everything's still bullish in the higher time frame still. But yeah, as long as we stay above this support here and that trend line there, I'm expecting highs. Hope that analysis on UTC-HF was made sense. But yeah, pound JPY, of course I'll take a look at that guy. Pound JPY, yeah, this one again still quite bullish. Like I said, for most of the JPY pairs, they're still quite bullish here. So it's difficult to really trade these guys apart from looking for those day trades and those buy setups on the lower time frames. I said coming into the week, the best way to trade these JPY pairs in general in this current market conditions is just looking for those day trades, looking for those pullbacks and the buys back up. Yesterday, I said we might see some bearish momentum for GJ, but I said no further than here really. If we broke through that, I might start to look for sales for GJ, but right now price is still very bullish. We didn't even see the pullback into this area, didn't even come and test the trend line. Price is just so bullish right now. So pound JPY could be coming up to go and take those highs out at 164.657. It's taking out this resistance here from yesterday. So yeah, everything is still really bullish for this one. No real opportunity to sell this, in my opinion. If you're looking to sell, the best you're going to get is like a choppy pullback like this, unless of course it breaks through that, then that's just pure luck really, because there's no real technical aspect that is pointing that the market's about to drop really. So yeah, I'm expecting those highs to be taken out. If you can stay above this, nice break and retest, could give a nice little day trade there to the upside, back to 164. Possible to come down or still bullish for long term? Definitely possible to come down. In fact, I'm looking for them to come down. By them, I mean the JPY pairs. But yeah, I'm looking for pound JPY to come down because we've seen some really strong rallies, especially on the higher time frames. It's the weekly, really nice rally there. You can see after that rally, we start to see some downside. So I'm looking at that happening in the next coming weeks for GJ and the other JPY pairs. But we have to be careful because the price is still definitely bullish. And the fact that we consolidated here for quite a while. What's the height of the consolidation? Height of the consolidation is about 830 pips or so. We've broken out to about 700 pips. So normally when we consolidate, not all the time, but if you consolidate a particular range, normally when the breakout happens, we normally break out the same distance of the range. So we could still push on a little bit higher. Again, that's not perfect. That's not something really to take too much into trading, but it's good to have in the back of your head that maybe we could still head a little bit higher for GJ. So yeah, I am looking at a correction, but I think long term it's still definitely bullish. You can see the trend here. This is the weekly, you've got the monthly as well. Long term it's still bullish for me. I'm thinking long term it could be pushing into the 175s maybe. So yeah, I'm still looking at price pushing to the upside long term, but I'm looking at a deeper correction first before that long term move, if you catch my drift. So I do think we can see that bigger drop happen, maybe 200, 300, 400 pips, maybe not that big, but a fairly big correction probably will happen, something like this, maybe something like that, and then maybe we might see the continuation happen. So to answer your question, yes, definitely possible to come down. I'm expecting it to come down, but just not yet though. Just not yet. Everything is still bullish, and for long term, I do expect it to still be bullish. So if you're a higher time frame trader and you're looking for a larger swing, you can possibly look for the sells, but not ready yet. You can probably hold that for about a week, maybe, or maybe max 2 weeks. And then maybe some upside for the next kind of month or two. But yeah, there's no sells yet. But again, all of that is just me thinking out loud because there's nothing there's no evidence in the market yet that we're seeing that correction. That's just what I'm expecting to happen, but it just hasn't happened yet. Evening, welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Any pairs you guys are looking at, feel free to let me know. I'll take a look at the chart. I hope that made sense. What's up, King? If not, or if I missed out a particular question you want answered, or anything, just let me know in the chat. Ain't no problem there, but Wait, did I actually look at US 30? Okay, yeah, I did. I just had a little brain freeze there because I remember the first comment of the chat was, can you please analyze US 30? And I was thinking, did I actually analyze the pair? But yeah, I did. No worries there, false alarm. Nice, good. So yeah, we do have some news later for CAD, and I'm expecting some strength for that. Oil looks like it's seeing some upside, and you know, we do have a positive correlation between oil and CAD. So if oil can see some upside, it's hanging on for dear life at this area here. We could see some upside for CAD, which could drop pound CAD. We will have to see, but nothing there yet. Pound USD, of course, and AUD of course as well. So yeah, I'll start with pound USD and then move on to AU. So yeah, pound USD, interesting stuff for this guy. It's been very choppy, but yeah, I still have targets for price to go lower. I'm still looking at 1.29, which is all the way down here. Still expecting price to drop there, but either one or two things I think will happen. Obviously, many things can happen, but I'm looking at one or two things happening. Because right now, price is holding on quite well at this 1.3 support here. You can see we've had 1, 2, 3, kind of 4 or 5 tests at this level, and price is still trading above it. So all in all, pound USD right now, pretty much for the whole week, because Monday we opened around here, and we've just been moving sideways for pound USD. So all we've seen is consolidation. Start between that support and resistance and this support here. So I'm looking at price breaking outside of this support, retesting, and then dropping into 1.29. I'm not really trying to get involved here. It's too messy, not really worth my time. Maybe for a day trade, quick scalp, yes, but not really as a swing trader to get involved in that. So I'm waiting for price to break out, retest, and then drop. 1.29 will be my target. Or if we do break to the upside, because we've had this trend line intact for quite some time now, this here I'm viewing as a bit of a false break of the trend line, because we respected it really well. False break, retested, respect. So we could maybe push up because there's a lot of liquidity above all of these highs here that price might want to go take out. Form another lower high, respected this high here. So it could, obviously, we've done that first kind of push, pull back, push. You might see another one and then another drop. So I'm looking at price breaking to the upside, form another lower high, move around this wick here, and then falling. Or break and retesting the trend line, retesting the support, term resistance, and falling. So either which way, I'm looking at pound USD coming into 1.29. Yeah, I'm not really interested in the buys. It could go up, but it's not really my bias. My bias is still bearish. So if it does go up, I'm just going to look to short the rally. And if it does break down, look for the retest into 1.29. So yeah, you can see very messy. So wait for the break. Again, don't wait for a hourly candle close, because you can see hourly candle. Hourly candles closed below this level many times, but hasn't confirmed a break once yet. Wait for the full hour to really get below. Again, you can see a bit of a false break there. So wait for it to get below, maybe 2 or 3 actually, because we've got some wicks here that we need to pass. So maybe wait for 2 or 3 bearish candles on the 4H. That will confirm the break, and then we can wait for the retest of that, if it happens, of course, and then shorts back down to 1.29. But yeah, that's the target for pound. And AUD, hello Anthony, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, AUD bearish on this one as well. I'm looking at price coming into 0.73 down here. I'm looking at price really falling, because we've come into this weekly area here. Respected it last week. You can see last week's candle, big wick to the upside, pull back down, close a nice bearish shooting star, and then retapping that consolidation area here. So I'm looking at price coming back down into 0.73, which is this resistance here. And we still do have a fair bit way to go. You can see this consolidation which we had over the past couple of weeks. We broke to the upside and then came straight back down. So really typical false break, consolidation, false break up to go the other way. Now we've come up to retest the consolidation and it's holding as resistance. So expecting price to come back down now. And that's exactly what's happening here. Really nice retest on yesterday, which was Tuesday. And it looks like Wednesday we're seeing the follow through, even though Wednesday we still got 10 hours left for that candle close. But yeah, I'm expecting more downside now for AU. So I said I'm waiting for a pullback for this one, for another lower high and then the drop, or a break and retest of the low. Either which way, my target's at 1.73. Probably for the rest of the week, maybe coming into next week. So I'm not sure if we'll hit 0.73 this week unless we see some crazy momentum. But yeah, I'm just expecting reversal here, 0.73. So yeah, I hope all that made sense there for those pairs, pound USD and AU. So what is Streamlab here in the description? Do I have Streamlab in my description? I use Streamlab to obviously stream the chart, stream the camera. So yeah, Streamlab is the software that I use. Didn't realize I have that in my description. But yeah, that's just the software that I use to stream all of this. What pairs do you trade? Oh, I trade a lot of pairs: major, minor, forex pairs, commodities. Dabble into a little bit of crypto, sometimes a little bit of indices, but 95% of my trades on forex pairs, major or minor. Don't really trade exotics. I have done previously, but yeah, forex major minors is where I normally focus on. I can obviously analyze exotics as well, but I find that forex major and minors are a lot better for me anyway. No problem, happy to help. So yeah, I do trade a lot of pairs, which is why it's important to create a little watch list. I'm a gold digger. That's funny, I've never actually seen gold digger being used as gold. Clever playing words there. Favorite pair, fair enough. I don't trade gold too much, to be fair. I do analyze it quite a lot, but most of the time I'm just like analyzing gold, keeping up to date with it. I don't like to trade it too much. When there's a good trade, you know, I can't help myself, I will get involved. Same with silver, I do analyze it a lot, but I don't trade it that much. Most of my trades are on forex pairs. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at gold yesterday. I was looking at gold a lot on the weekend, and actually this week I was planning to trade gold, but unfortunately it just didn't retest the level I was looking for it to retest. On Monday it had this strong bearish candle here, broke underneath, then it broke back above, so I was looking for a price to come back and retest, but I think I was being a little bit too precise with gold here, because this is the level of interest, 1945, but if I just be a little bit more, if I gave it a bit more room, you can see if I put it to the wick up there, it just about tapped the top of the zone. Normally when I draw my levels, I'm normally just focusing on just the bodies and a little bit of the wick rather than the whole zone, just to give myself a bit more precision. But yeah, I was thinking I was being a little bit too over the top there with gold, but yeah, it stayed above 1945 and now I'm expecting 2000, and this entry here happened overnight as well, so I'm asleep at that time. But yeah, 3 a.m. Break and retest of that previous high there. Now price is pushing up into that 2000 zone. So yeah, gold and silver, both of them, you know, I was expecting price to rally. Gold 2000 is where I'm expecting to go. Unfortunately not in the trade there, but it's nice to see the bias play out though. It gives you more incentive that, you know, the analysis is good, it's still working with the market, keep going. But yeah, unfortunately just not in that position, and silver doing the exact same thing as well. But yeah, gold to 2000, and actually I said I'm thinking gold to 2070. Obviously a little bit greedy with that one, but I do think from 2000 we might see a bit of a correction happen. Now I've drawn this trend line in here now. So I think we might see a bit of a correction from 2000, very strong psychological level, could see some profit taking happening at that area, and then maybe we get that bigger push to 2070, or we could actually break 2000, retest it and continue, who knows. But yeah, gold looking bullish, and 2000's probably where it's heading to next. And again, that just goes to show you about the correlation between the dollar and the DXY. You do expect to see, if dollar's going up, you do expect to see gold come down. And if you go and take a look at dollar right now, you can see it's been bullish. It's been bullish since last week, or the week before maybe. Since the 31st of March, it's been bullish, and so has gold. Gold, to be fair, has consolidated a little bit. You can see it has consolidated, but it's been bullish as well. So the correlation between gold and dollar is not the best correlation in the world. It used to be a lot better. If you saw DXY up, you do expect gold to drop, sometimes a little bit delayed, but the correlation did fairly work quite well. I'm starting to see that correlation go a little bit more out the window now. I think it might be due to things going around the world right now, because obviously a lot more money is being pumped back into gold there with the war going on between Russia and Ukraine. So obviously a lot more money is being put into gold, so obviously gold's rallied because of that. So the correlation has come out a little bit of the window, but yeah, I'm not really looking too much at the dollar anymore. I'm mainly focusing on just seeing what gold is doing, looking at the price action for gold, analyzing it, making my call on that, rather than looking at the DXY as well to factor that in. Because if I'm looking at the DXY and then I'm making my call on gold, I should be looking to sell gold, but nope, I'm looking at gold coming to 2,000. Hey, no problem, Anthony. Happy to help. If you guys are enjoying the stream, finding it useful, all that good stuff, please do leave a like on the video. It does really help the channel out, helps the video, YouTube algorithms, all that good stuff. But yeah, if you haven't already as well, subscribe to the channel, join the family. Everyone is welcome here, of course. But yeah, only currently in USD CHF right now. Again, this is on the 4H, so it's going to take some time for this one to get going. So far hasn't done much. Entered the trade there yesterday, and so far it's kind of just moved sideways. Entries here, so hasn't seen too much action. But again, I'm not expecting this to happen overnight or anything. Could still be in the trade by the time next week hits. But yeah, that's the trade I'm currently in. I was focusing on USD CHF quite a lot on the weekend, so it was, one of the 5 pairs that I had at the top of my watch list that I was looking to trade. Unfortunately, it's only the 1 out of the 5 that I managed to actually find an entry for. Other pairs, 2 entity pairs have kind of gone, and gold's gone as well. CAD CHF hasn't really played out as I was expecting anyway. But yeah, you see CHF looking alright. We'll see what happens. Again, it's a little bit noisy in this area, so I'm not expecting the cleanest price action to come around. I wouldn't be surprised if we come back to have a test of the trend line and the support again before moving bullish. But I do have my stop loss in a fairly safe area, so if you do come back down, that's obviously going to be a loss there. But if we can push on, great. First TP will be at this zone. We'll be looking to secure some profit at this area, because obviously you can see rejection. This is definitely an area where I'm looking to close some profit at. I probably won't go stop loss to break even, just because it's a bit too close, and because it's such a strong level. I could definitely see maybe a push up, a wick back down, or back down into my entry, and then the move higher. So I want to give the trade a chance to breathe a little bit, and the fact that's really rangy in here, it does mean a move back down could be very likely. So I'll probably take some profit off, maybe move my stop loss a little bit closer as well, just to minimize risk as well. But yeah, I'm looking for the break higher, and then possibly, if things are looking good, we'll look for a second entry on the break and retest of this level, just to really maximize the trade. Because with a swing trade, I found what's best to do with swing trading is that, because obviously with day trading you can be very, very in and out within the day, taking your profit, taking your loss, move on to the next trade. Whereas swing trading, sometimes you can get a really good entry. It could take maybe 1 or 2 days for the trade to play out. Then sometimes you could get a little bit of a sloppy entry. It might take a bit of time, it might consolidate, might do 1 or 2 things before it actually moves to your target, which could end up to a week or even 2 weeks sometimes. So the best way to take advantage of that and not just simply sit in that trade and take the swap cost is to actually find a second entry for that if you can, of course. If there isn't one, there isn't one. But if you can, it actually makes more sense to get the second trade in and really maximize your wins that way. Because if you think about it, you're not getting a second trade in when you're taking a losing trade, but you are getting a second trade when you're taking a winning. So it just means that your wins are maximized that much more. So yeah, with a swing trading, I definitely recommend looking for second entry. So if I can get a break and retest of that, I will be looking for some longs. Again, same target. But yeah, we have to break out of that region first, of course. So we'll see what happens. Would you move your stop loss to break even after TP1 is hit? Yeah, like I said, no, I probably wouldn't. It's just a little bit too close. Normally I would move my stop loss to break even after TP1 hit, because after that I can secure some profit, move stop loss to break even. Psychology will be at ease because I've bank profit. So whatever happens, I've actually made money. Good, move on to the next one. So normally when I can take some profit and move my stop to break even, I'm pretty carefree with the trade. If it comes back down against me, it comes back down. If it hits target, it hits target. But in this case, I just wouldn't, because it's just too messy in here. Oh, that's just not the area. My mouse lagged a little bit. It's too messy in here, so that means price will probably fluctuate and it could just whip me out before moving up. And I don't want to be in that case. I'd rather take the loss than get whipped out and miss out on the full target. I'd rather take the loss. So yeah, in this case, because it's very messy in here, no. But normally, yes, I would. If it's a nice trending market like so, then yeah, I would. But because this market is just a little bit messy, yeah, it doesn't make too much sense to do that. So yeah, no, not for this one. But obviously, you can trade how you want to trade. If you're in the trade as well, but yeah, that's just how I'm going to manage this one. And again, good thing about this one, it's on the 4H time frame, which means I'm going to only be checking this trade every 4 hours pretty much, or at least try to. It's not definitely an easy thing to do, because sometimes I want to see how the trade's going, but because I know this is now kind of moved into the 4H, I'm going to be waiting for every 4 hour close to check this one, so I can be a little bit more relaxed with this trade. But the other AUD pairs, I still will be looking for entries for these guys to see if we can roll over. What's your plan on AUD/USD? No problem, we'll take a look at that, Quintin. No problem so far, happy to help. So yeah, AUD/USD, I'm looking at 0.73 for this one. Yeah, it's a shame because I wanted to get an entry up here, but it happened coming to the end of the day, which I don't look for entries at that time. I tend to look for my entries from around 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 p.m. being the latest. Normally I don't try to push it past the 6 o'clock close for the 4H candle, which is obviously GMT, my time zone, London. So yeah, past that I don't really look for entries, so unfortunately get an entry here, and then we whipped back in again. That was during the Asian session, which I'm asleep. But yeah, AUD/USD, my plan is for price to come back down to 0.73. The daily time frame is looking very, very neat and tidy. We had this high over here, that price kind of had that aggressive wick, taking out a lot of liquidity, and now expecting price to roll back over. We had this range here, which price was consolidating at, had that false break, came back down, retested the range, now expecting price to roll over. So yeah, I've got two ideas for entries for this one. Break and retest of the low, but I'm hoping price might rebound from the low, pull back up, give me another low high somewhere, and then drop. So yeah, I'm even looking for a lower high to develop somewhere on the hourly. Probably look for an entry there on the hourly somewhere. I don't know, maybe coming to this kind of region. It's not very clean, to be honest, but yeah, pull back somewhere and some shorts back down, or simply a break and retest at the low, and then I'm looking for 0.73. There's some targets I'm looking at here as well, 0.73, 721, this support here. It might, price might struggle here, so could look to secure some profit around this region. But daily target is 0.73, and that's where I'm going to be looking to trade into if I obviously get into a trade. I'll let you guys know if I do on my Telegram, so feel free to go and check that out. Link in the description and also at the top of the chat as well. But yeah, plan for AU is to short it. I'm not interested in any longs. If I do see any rallies, really, if I see any rallies for AUSD and it stays below this area here, if it stays below this area here, I'm looking to short it. So if it starts to rally up to the upside, I'm looking to short. If it rallies and breaks above, then that's when I will probably just fold my arms and see what AUD does next. I probably won't look to short it, and I probably won't look to long. I'll probably just stay, see what AUD does next, and then I'll go from there. But as long as it stays below this, yeah, I'm looking to short any rally I can find on the hourly, and then a push into 0.73. I hope that made sense there. But that's the plan for AU, and pretty much the exact same plans kind of for AUD CHF and AUD CAD as well. Anticipating this to be the next lower high in reference to that high there, kind of a bit like a head and shoulders. Not the cleanest one, I have to admit, but I do think we are getting ready to roll over. Got the left here, head, looking at the right, now I'm looking at the reversal. So I'm just looking for lower highs to form or break and retest of this area here maybe. We'll have to see. But yeah, I'm looking at price coming back down into these lows here. Again, that's the long-term target. There will be levels that I will be looking to target before that. But that's just the overall scope of where, you know, I think price can go. So yeah, a few levels I'll be looking at. But the full move, I'm expecting to 0.918. Yeah, and reason being is because price is really struggling to break through this resistance here. You can see all the wicks to the upside. You know, for price to really go bullish and break out of this bearish trend, it needs to take out this level, and so far it's rejecting it. So I'm still overall bearish for AUD CAD. You know, this is the weekly time frame, but if you do break through this, I will change my bias. But because we're struggling, I'm looking for that bearish to kick back in, and that's the last kind of push up. So that's what I'm expecting it to head to. That's the previous high low on the daily. So that's what I'm looking for price to come into. Again, will probably take a few days to get there. But yeah, that's the plan for those pairs, and used to CHF. Just going to see what happens with that one. Maybe see if we can get some retracement on gold, maybe. But yeah, they're all looking pretty bullish to me. And then Euro Pound, be waiting for the break and retest for that one for some sells. Didn't manage to get into that trade there. No problem. Happy to help. But yeah, we are coming to the end of the stream in about 7 minutes or so. So yeah, any pairs, any particular time frames you want me to go over last minute, let me know. Of course, I will be live again tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday every week, 10, I was about to say 12 to 10, 10 to 12 a.m. GMT is when I'll be streaming. So I will be live again tomorrow. Hope to see all of you guys there. Bitcoin's a little bit interesting. We saw this one take a big dive on, is that Tuesday or Wednesday or Monday? Can't remember, but it did take a big dive this week to the downside. Yeah, Bitcoin's coming to an interesting price because it's below 44. So again, Bitcoin, I'll be looking at the higher time frames to get a scope for this one, particularly the monthly, because we've got this region here, and I'm expecting if Bitcoin can break through this resistance, then I'm looking for Bitcoin to come back to highs. If Bitcoin hold this level, then I'm looking for Bitcoin to come back to the lows. So pretty simple there. You know, see if it breaks through or not. So far, it's rejecting the level quite heavily, and by lows, obviously, I mean this low here. But obviously, things can change pretty quickly because we are still having this bullish trend on the daily. Not the strongest of trends, but you can see high, low, high, potentially new low for the high. So for me to sell Bitcoin, I need to see a bullish rally to the upside, and then I need to see price give me another lower high in reference to that point there. If it can come back to 44, hold 44, and I do expect that break, and I'm looking at 30k down there, or you can wait for the more high probable trade, the break of the trend line, and find some lower highs somewhere, and then the drop. But that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. If it does rally from here and doesn't form a lower high, breaks above 44 and breaks above that monthly level, then I do think Bitcoin is going to come back to highs up here at 60 whatever, 60, 68, 69. That's what I do think will happen for Bitcoin. So break above that level, I'll be bullish back to highs. So far it's not breaking through, so I want it to confirm to me it's not by giving me that lower high, because right now it's still in that bullish trend here, and it could still obviously rally to the upside and break back above, and then I'll look to go long. But if it doesn't and it gives that lower high, then I think Bitcoin back to 30. Hello, welcome to the stream, Deathco. Welcome to the stream. Better late than never. But yeah, I will have my eye on Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. Again, I'm mainly looking just for the swing trades for these cryptos at the moment. I'm not really trying to get involved with the intraday or the intra-week moves. I'm looking for the bigger swing. So either a swing back to highs or a swing back to lows. Either which way I'm looking to get involved with. A little bit of a little interesting side kind of market I'm looking at. Again, it's not really my focus day to day, but I'm just going to be aware of the swings of Bitcoin, and I'm looking for something like this to develop in the next coming days and weeks for Bitcoin. And the risk towards looking very, very healthy on both situations. So I'm not really fussed about whichever one happens. So yeah, a little kind of swing opportunity I'm looking at for Bitcoin, or up or down. Same thing for Ethereum as well. But I think I'll probably just look at Bitcoin though, because they're going to do the exact same thing at the end of the day. Which pairs should we be watching? Well, it depends. If you're looking for a bit of a swing opportunity, the pairs I'm watching is AUD CAD for sales back down south to this region. But obviously there's a few regions here you can look at, just to name a few. But I'm looking at AUD CAD coming back down, so I'm looking for some lower highs to develop or break and retest of the trend line. AUD I'm looking at price coming down into these areas, so AUD sells and AUD sells, looking at either price giving me a lower high or a break and retest of this low here, and yeah, sells back down. And also the trade I'm currently in USD, if you break above that could be some nice buys for push back into those highs as well. Getting involved here is a little bit choppy, so I'll probably wait for price. Hey subscriber, thank you for joining the stream, joining the family, much appreciated. So if you want to get involved with USD, I'll wait for a move down first before getting involved, or break of that resistance. But yeah, those are the main pairs I'm looking at. The pairs I was coming into the week, USD, the CAD have kind of played out without me, and gold as well played out without me. So those pairs are kind of just pushing to one side because they're really, doing what I'm expecting them to do. Euro pound as well, I'm looking for a drop to the downside, but we still need to break through that. So probably just set an alert for this one because there's not much to do. But I'm looking at Euro pound coming down to those lows. But yeah, AU shorts, AUCHF shorts, AUD CAD shorts. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. No problem, mate. Happy to help. I mean, if you guys are enjoying the stream, just let me know if a like. But yeah, I mean, if I can help you guys out, then then we're all winning. That's what I want to hear. But yeah, I will be live again tomorrow, as always. So I do hope to see you guys tomorrow. But yeah, have come to the end of the stream. I'm only nursing UCCHF right now, so I'll see how that gets going. If I do get any of the setups that I've been speaking about, I'll let you guys know in the Telegram, and I'll post that. So if you want to check out my Telegram, link in the description, and also if you scroll to the top of the chat, there's a link there as well to it. Looking for a broker. IC Markets is the currently broker I'm using. I've got a link as well for that if you want to use it. A link to that at the top of the chat and the description as well. But I will be live again tomorrow, and I hope to see you all there. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, all that good stuff if you are enjoying the content. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow.